Welcome back. It's a brand new episode. This is Laugh With Me podcast with Jeremy Odem. I'm your host, J.O. Joined again.
You just crack yourself up?
I did. Sometimes. Depending on who you ask, it's all the time. But sometimes, there's just like, I'll do something or I'll say something, and it's just weird enough that it'll make myself laugh. That one got me, and it was me in my head going, give him a chuckle. Give him a chuckle. And then I laughed. And then you called me out on it.
I feel like that should be, part of the show. Laugh with me, and then underneath it, just like give him a chuckle.
Give him a chuckle. Well, we're joined again by a giant in the transportation industry. You know him as a football expert, a former multi-time fantasy football champion, the former fifth speaker at Central. You've won at darts before? What? Give us a new, what else is on the resume? I'm giving all your accolades.
First time guest
on the pod. This is Eric Larson, everybody.
I didn't want to come on until you finished your first 100.
We did.
That's how we knew that the show had staying power.
That's how we knew. And you're not the first person to say that. We have a friend who has. I was like, hey, come on the pod. You have funny stories. It'd be entertaining. And he's like, maybe when you get to episode blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, because you're such a get. I didn't know. There was a line to get to you, but whatever. Johnny only brings us the best guests, the ones who want to be here. Here you are. We're excited to have you. And we're here not just to revel in the successes of 100 episodes, which is very difficult to get to. I don't know if you've heard, but less than 10% of podcasts ever even get there. I'm pretty proud that we've got to 100. And you were on 25 of them? I mean, you're on a good chunk of them. Maybe 10? Did I overestimate?
No. I mean, I think it's probably in that 15 to 20.
You're in that 15-20 range. To get to 100 is pretty cool. And then people say, all right, you did it. You did it, J.O. Now what? What's next after you get to 100? Well, obviously, you get 101, which we gave you. We gave you episode 101, okay? So stop yelling. And then this is episode 102, but coming very, very soon to the Laugh With Me podcast YouTube page. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to announce Laugh With Me, the animated series. Thank you, Johnny. Laugh With Me, the animated series. The first episode, the pilot, starring myself, Jeremy Odem, starring Eric Larson, our guest here today, as he tells us some of his stories from the pub tour when you were on vacation in England. So this is really exciting. It's a different telling of the story. I don't know if do you remember those stories? Don't give us the stories now. We're let the people watch it. But do you remember what you said?
Vaguely.
Okay. All right. So here's the thing. We have an episode called Eric Goes to Europe. You could go listen to that. You could listen to that episode and you'd hear all the stories. Okay? Maybe you've already listened to it and you have heard the stories. Now you're going to hear those stories in beautiful color picture on YouTube. It's going to be amazing. The artist who did I should give him a shout out, shouldn't I? What a jerk. I didn't even write down. Here I am getting, I remember going, hey, what do you want me to call you on the show? And he was just like, Alien Designed. Alien Designed is the artist. Incredible animation. We've got some fun jokes within there that you would never have heard on the pod because it's visual. We may have an appearance by Cisco.
Wow.
Yeah, famous from the Thong Song. I don't know.
That's a first 100 callback.
That's yeah.
Callback to the first 100 episodes.
Yeah,
of 60 of them.
60
of them featured
Cisco. I don't want to give too much away, obviously, but keep your eyes peeled. This animated series is coming, the pilot episode, and then episode 2 is actually coming right behind it. It is almost done. So really excited.
Would you say, I mean, I haven't seen any of this animation yet. I mean, is this going to help me with the ladies?
Yeah, it's...
Am I tastefully rendered in this?
Yeah, it looks just like you. It's going to be... You're tall.
Okay.
Like that salt and pepper hair. You know, you've got that dark, and then you got that gray. So it's going to be like that salt and pepper. And then, you know, you've been known... Here, what are you drinking right now?
A beer?
Yeah, a beer. You've got that nice, shapely beer belly going that we all do. I do, too. This is not a you thing. This is an all-us thing. You got that going, but you're really tall. Way taller than me.
Great personality.
Great personality.
Sounds like this animated version of me. Great personality.
There may or may not be a scene where you're peeing in a beer. I don't know. I'm not. Who am I to know?
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. But it's exciting. And then I will put out there that episode 2 is it's a callback to a very traumatic experience that I had, that I do have in a episode that is... I'm not going to tell you what the episode's about, the animated episode 2, but I will tell you what the Laugh With Me podcast episode was called that the story came from, okay? And then you decide if you kind of can see where it's going. The episode that the story is come from, it was called Pepper Spray Attack Survivor. I don't know if you have heard that episode or not, but it should be exciting. So there you go. Should be fun. You got nothing to say. You got nothing to say. You're like, I'm tall.
I'm still dealing with the fact that your listening audience is gonna think I have the dad bod going on.
They're gonna see the full you, dude. They're gonna see the full Monty. So this is pretty exciting. But yeah, no, we're excited to announce the Laugh With Me animated series is coming to our YouTube page exclusively, and the pilot episode is coming at you like very, very soon. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And you know, I've obviously been working on that, but also I've been working on some fantasy football drafts because it's that fantasy football season, and we had our big draft here a week ago. We've got a league, Hot Tub in the End Zone is the league name, at 12 of us.
Year 19.
Year 19 of the league. The core of the league has been the same.
Yep.
You know, we've had guys come and go. We've had some guys leave and then come back. But the core of the league is the same, which is always fun when you can have that kind of like stability. But no, it's one of those live drafts where the guys get together on a Saturday every single summer and pick them. But it's turned into it's turned into quite the deal. I mean, year one was like, hey, everybody come over to my apartment, and we got a keg and we had it in my apartment, in my little 2-bedroom apartment, and 12 plus of us were in there drinking beers, watching a Husker game, drafting. Like, that's what it was, right? It's turned into a day-long, 8 a.m., first bev, golfing by 9, lunch at this beautiful lake, and then go to the cabin, play beer darts and play beer games until draft time, which is not till evening, because apparently some people still have to work on a Saturday. So it's quite the deal. I don't know, draft day. You survived it.
Yeah.
Not by much, it looks like, but you survived it.
Yeah, that might have added a few more gray hairs. So maybe that animated avatar is a little bit more accurate. But yeah, we poured our first beverage at 8 a.m. I actually stayed at the draft location the night before with some of the out of towners, and our gracious host had just served us this first beverage, and one of the guys in there was just like, "This is great, but you know, where's your boat, Joe?"
Where'd the boat go?
And
so that's why you guys.
He's got the cabin. He's got the boat dock down there, and lo and behold, there was no boat.
JoJo. So the boat is in the middle of the lake.
Yeah. So Joe didn't say anything. He just goes booking it.
Was he running
out to the dock, and it's just, you know, you can see him kind of looking around, And so, we're kind of half following him, all of us with our beverage in our hand, like a little confused. Like maybe somebody borrowed it. Maybe somebody, and then Joe comes running back up to the house. They've got an ATV. He gets on this ATV and just buzzes off down the beach. And so,
you got to drag it back.
Yeah, we're all like just sitting there like, well, this is some drama. Like this could really
derail the day.
Yeah, this is a really tough look to start. So probably 4 or 5 minutes goes by. All of a sudden, my phone starts ringing, and it's Joe. It's just, hey, go upstairs, go here. This is where the keys are. Get the keys and come meet me. At the bridge. So we down our drink. We get in the car. We drive up to the bridge. Is probably like 0.4 of a mile away from his house, and there's Joe standing on the bank of the lake with the boat. With the boat. The boat's sitting right there. Luckily, it kind of beached itself on the sand, pontoon boat. So, it went through a bridge tunnel. Probably 20 feet wide, concrete like on both sides.
Do you think it bumper card through there? Or do you think it just?
I mean, it didn't look like there was any big like scuffs or any of that kind of stuff on there, but. Luckily, again,
Wow.
But yeah, apparently the lift was not engaged all the way. So we did not take the boat out the other day. The blame goes on somebody else. But
thankfully, we'd never be invited.
Yeah,
back.
We would never be able to go back.
Well, that's a heck of a way to start the day. And then you guys rushed to go golf with us and meet up with me and Kyle. How'd you shoot? We were in different groups. I know we were playing Scramble, right? Is that what we were doing? We were doing Scramble. How'd you shoot?
Driver was awful.
Yeah.
But my irons were looking pretty good.
That's kind of my day too. I learned if I give a lean to the left off the drive, I could do okay. Mm-hmm. It was never the drive we would take, but it was better. And then but then the iron play, I was all day. They were taking my shots. So that was fun.
So one of the guys in my group, he came in from out of town. His dad is an avid golfer, and so Cody's just like, hey, I don't want to bring my clubs. I don't want to fly him up there. Hey, we're only going to golf 9. That draft morning. Don't want to deal with it. So his dad's like, hey, I put a bag together for you. So luckily, Cody was hitting the driver very well. Mm-hmm. So we used a lot of his drives on it because his dad gave him a driver and 2 woods. The remainder of Cody's bags was all ladies' clubs.
Beautiful.
Which, I mean, Cody's a tall guy. He's 6 foot.
Yeah.
But yeah, he would go out there and then
that
would be.
That worked out great.
Yeah.
How tall is his dad?
I think a little bit shorter.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
But
yeah, well, the ladies' clubs are a little more forgiving, so it's probably
So he was really leaned down with these ladies' clubs. And then the other thing too is like all these clubs are right-handed and Cody is left-handed. So I love the fact that left-hander using right-handed ladies' clubs. That was one of our members.
That's awesome. What a go for Cody. Well, it was fun. It was there was a couple of times where our groups kind of, met up there.
I think I actually want to talk to you about that. You flipped me off.
I flipped you off.
Yeah, like 2 big middle fingers, like you were waving them around, dancing.
Do you remember what hole that was? I'm trying to think mentally where I was at. Like maybe did something happen?
I think you're just being a dick.
Did I miss a putt?
No, this seemed like happy.
I was excited.
Yeah, you were dancing around, flipping people off.
Was I in the cart or not?
You were not in the cart.
I was not in the cart. I was dancing. Yeah, that might have been targeted at you.
No.
Yeah, that might have been. Hey.
That's your inner voice was saying the opposite of give him a chuckle.
Give him a chuckle. That's wonderful. Well, golfing's fun, but when you have a full day planned ahead of you, it's a lot by the end.
Yeah.
By the time you get through all the beer darts, and beer darts is great. I don't know if anybody played beer darts. Fun game. Never just chuck a dart in the middle of the field of a pile of cans because you will not get that dart back ever again. Who knows where that dart has ended up? It is gone. it was literally 2 feet in front of us 1 second, and then it's just gone.
Yeah. So one of our guys, because as you're playing beer darts, you're throwing your empties in the middle, and one of the guys decided just for whatever dumb reason to throw a dart at one of the empty cans.
Now he's the jerk. You think I'm a jerk with the middle finger?
Yeah.
He's a jerk.
I mean that completely absolved you.
Thank you.
But yes, it was. I imagine that it would have been very humorous for an outsider to come by at that point, because there were probably 7 40-year-old dudes on their hands and knees. Crawling over this patch of grass looking for a dart. Like the flight flew off of it, so it was just the dart. The ground was soft because it had rained, and
This is a super old reference, but like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, when like the parents are hands and knees, trying to look for the kids in the grass. Like that was us looking for this dart everywhere.
We should have asked Joe if he had a magnifying glass.
We should have.
That probably would have helped.
Oh. Yeah, that was something. But we never did find that dart. In fact, luckily, one of our league mates had not shown up yet and was able to bring us some darts. But holy cow, that was quite the search looking for that dart. But yeah, and then our grand idea was to just play with one dart. And it's like, this game, it just takes all the energy out of the game when you're playing with one dart. But yeah, now a fun time. And then you actually draft, which is always fun. I don't know. A lot of leagues, they switch up how the draft order is. Sometimes just randomized. Sometimes you have to earn it. Our league is like, you know how a lot of them do, where it starts with the loser from last year and all the way to the winner at the bottom there to kind of start your draft. But we reset after round 4, which is always a great excuse then to have what our league enjoys, which is a very long break.
Yeah.
And when we take that break, then we reshuffle the draft order again for rounds 5 through 15. This year, we had the new WWE 2K game, and it was like a randomized custom players with all the league people, and then a battle royal. So that was fun to see. Here comes Eric, out, and you got to fight Stone Cold Steve Austin now.
And whoever's named character got thrown out first, that became last pick. And so it was kind of dramatic to see.
Yeah.
When the wrestler's announced and your guy runs out. And
the only thing I would have changed to that is it's difficult because a lot of people, most people, were out of the match already before some people even made it into the match. Like, I'd love to see us all in a match, start at the same time, and then go, but I know that's not possible. But like, that's what I would like to see.
At least with only one coming in, it allowed you to kind of focus in.
Yeah, true.
That and the fact that for whatever reason, the random character generator on me made me like a purple turtle.
Purple turtle.
Like, I'm not sure how that works, but
we've done some different things. We've had Coach Gruden last year selected our draft order.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun to watch what he had to say about us.
You mentioned beer darts, so we've been doing that for a couple of years. That's kind of become our official sport.
Yeah.
But we did a couple of years ago where our host filled up balloons, and then each balloon had like a slip of paper in there. And so you'd take turns throwing, each member of the league, and you'd throw a dart to hit a balloon. And then it either had a pick, here's what number you're going to be, or it had a shot.
Oh, yeah.
And
which always gets the night going.
Yeah.
That's a fun way to do it, too. We've done...
The downside to that was everybody was awful. Like, there were a couple of people that were just awful at hitting them. And then I think your brother, Kyle, actually hit, like, 4 shots in a row. Like, he's actually hitting the balloons, and each one's just like, nope, you need to do a shot.
Take a shot, yeah. He's like, just give me a 6. Just give me a 6.
Yeah. I'll take last pick. At this point, just please. It's a long day.
But it's fun. You take that break, and then we kind of reshuffle the draft order. It gives a little new excitement to the live draft itself. But man, I'll tell you what. So we start early. We're getting the bevs going, and then we're golfing, and then you got lunch, and then you got the beer games, and then you got these big reshuffling of the rounds that you may have to take all these shots, and then you're drinking beers, and then we have to actually draft to keep you fools organized. Is quite the task.
Why are you looking at me?
I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you right now. It is quite the task. I just want credit to me, honestly, for this year keeping it together and getting through the entire 15 rounds composed. Because I know in years past I haven't been. And that's on me. Hand up. That's on me. But holy cow, it's quite the deal. I don't know. I think one of these years, you and I are going to switch roles. And you do what I do, and I'll do what you do. And then we'll have a draft. Should we do like a bizarro draft day?
I don't know if this is such a good trade for me. Because what I like is just when you start getting stressed out. Like,
Yeah.
I'm chief mediator.
Yes.
But I'm also chief instigator.
Yes, you are.
So
Always.
I'm probably the most aggravating and
Yeah.
the one that helps,
Yeah, Jeremy,
bring the temperature
let's
back
go have
down.
a shot. We gotta talk about this.
So, like, that's a very fine line.
Yeah. Well, we got through it. Draft day's fun, which just means NFL season is back. If you heard episode 101, then you heard what we had to say about the AFC. Now we're going to talk about the NFC. So the AFC is my bread and butter. With being a Chargers fan, as a Vikings fan, this is home base. You watch a lot of NFC football.
I do.
Which means you love Fox. A lot of NFC on Fox. How do you feel about that? Do you like Fox as your home base? Do you like CBS? I mean,
I'm not a huge Joe Buck fan.
Joe Buck's on ESPN.
So now that Joe Buck's no longer part of that Fox broadcast,
So you're cool with that.
I'm happier.
Let's quickly rank the broadcasters that do NFL games. I didn't tell you we were going to do this ahead of time. In fact, I just thought of it. So we're going to let's very quickly rank our NFL, not broadcast teams, but networks that we like to watch NFL games on. Mm-hmm. Okay. Who would you say is like the worst? And there's streamers in this. There's Peacock. There's Amazon. There's
yeah. I mean, I put any of those single one-off.
the NFL Network generally isn't
Yeah.
even a good broadcast.
Did you watch the Netflix games that they had last year at Christmas?
Yeah,
like,
I
those
did.
were awful.
Those were bad.
Like, not only did they populate the announcer desk, but then they also had to populate like the pre and post game shows. And there's just like 8 dudes, and it's just
Yeah.
like it was like a who's who for like had gotten kicked out of the big leagues of just, hey, you're not entertaining enough.
Well, and they had comedians. They just had people,
Yeah.
But yeah, but the visual's incredible. I will say, do you watch any of the Apple TV and MLB games on Friday nights?
No.
Okay, the visual, like their presentation of an MLB game, amazing. The announcers, awful. It's so bad that after the first year, they added the option where you could have the home team's radio broadcast, like, be your audio.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, I'll listen to the Padres home radio broadcast all day long if I don't have to listen to these Apple fools. So
That's the
visual's awesome.
The Husker game that was on last Thursday.
Yeah.
That was like a eye opener
jeez.
too, because it was just like, God, I always forget how bad those like 8th string
It's
TV
brutal.
announcers are for like college football.
How's ESPN on a Thursday night, week 1, not have, like, give us something?
Yeah.
It's a prime game on Arrowhead Stadium. It's a neutral site game. You know, Nebraska's a big brand. I don't know. I could complain about
there
that
was
all day.
2 challenges that happened towards the end of the first half. Rayola forced or a strip sack fumble, and then they had the other team got the ball after a kickoff, and the guy caught it and fumbled it, and the announce team was 100% wrong on both the calls, and it was just kind of one of these like,
What?
are you guys watching the
Do you
same
watch
game?
football?
Like,
Yeah.
well, I don't know if he makes a football move. He made 4 steps. Like
Yeah.
that counts.
Yeah,
Like
he's
that's
running.
he has possession of the ball.
4 steps is borderline running. All right, so how about ESPN, so Monday Night Football, CBS, Fox, and
NBC.
NBC.
So now does the ESPN include like, so you got, Joe Buck
Yep.
and Aikman, but does it include the Manning brothers? The Manning cast?
You could include that they have the Manning cast, yeah. Because I'll watch Monday Night Football. I'll watch the Manning cast. I don't watch the other one.
So I think I'd probably put it Fox, NBC, ESPN, and CBS is my lowest broadcast one. Even though I think that Romo individually is probably my favorite announcer.
He's fun. So mine would be number 1 NBC, I think they do better than anybody presenting a football game.
Well, but Collinsworth every single time. Nobody in the NFL does it better than him.
Yep. I think I like that. Like, I don't know. There's just something I like that. So NBC and I'll probably give it Fox, and then I'd probably give it CBS, and then I'd give it ESPN. And then the streamers grouped.
I like the ESPN when they do the weird graphics. Like I like that they just have fun with it, and it's just the dumbest.
We didn't. Oh, in the cartoons.
Yeah, they'll just have this like.
Yeah, Fox started to do that too.
Yeah.
We didn't even add Nickelodeon. I don't know if you count that into CBS's crew, but the Nickelodeon one's kind of fun. I don't know that I could watch a whole game that way, but it's fun to see highlights.
CBS always strikes me as kind of like a throwback. Like their whole entire like how they do the scoreboards and all that kind of stuff just feels very throwback.
So CBS. It's funny you say that because they are so like their history with the NFL is one of the earliest, as far as like broadcast networks showing games. They lost their coverage when Fox outbid them, and then Fox, became what Fox is. That's how they did with getting NFL, and then CBS found their way back in it. But they lost the NFL for a while. But yeah, they're like they do have that old feel. Just like if ABC, if instead of ESPN on ABC, if it was the old school ABC Sports, it would feel like 1990s all over again,
That's an interesting question though too when you think about it. It's like, all right, well, we both putting Fox up there because hey, in the 90s, that's when we were first getting into it.
That's when we became fans.
That's where we have the nostalgia. It'd be interesting to talk to like, our dads and be like, hey, which of these style ones do you like better?
Could be CBS.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah. Wow. That's interesting. This is actually an interesting topic. We just off the dome. This is riffing at its finest. All right, the NFC. We're going to start with the NFC South, everybody's favorite division. You have some bad blood within this division personally. I hope you don't hold that against the Saints when you're talking about them, because I know you don't like them at all.
I don't hold it against them. I do hold how bad of a team they are.
You're going to hold that against them. Okay, yeah. That's fair. Okay, so NFC South, lay it on me.
I think you've got to say that the Saints are probably the worst team in football right now.
The worst team in football, and you're counting the Browns in this.
Yes.
You're counting the Jets in this.
Yep.
Holy cow. You're counting the Raiders in this.
Yeah.
So would you say the Saints are front runners to be the number one pick?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, the sad part is, like, part of it is due to the quarterback uncertainty that they've got. Carr got hurt. He's not, wouldn't be able to play this year. But honestly, their team's bad enough that even with Carr in the building, I don't think that they probably move out of the bottom three. Like you're gonna spend a lot of bottom five podcasts
talking about the Saints.
I
love talking about the bottom five, and I love talking about the Saints. So this is actually fun.
They have, probably the worst cap situation, and they still got like 2 more years before they dig themselves out of the cap hell that all the spending Drew Brees years put them in. They had a good run there about 8 years where they just kept kicking the bill down the road.
Okay, so as a Vikings fan, as somebody who's never experienced a Super Bowl championship, okay, would you give it all away to have those Breeze years and then be in salary cap hell to never be competitive again?
Yeah, the Super Bowl made it worthwhile.
Okay.
The Super Bowl made it worthwhile.
I'd agree with you there.
Yeah.
Just give me one. One Super Bowl would make it all worth it. Then whatever.
Yeah. Once you got that, then you can just kind of live off vibes for 2 decades.
Are you kidding me? That's all I would live off of. I'd be like, yeah, but remember when we won? This is why we're good as Husker fans, because we're like, yeah, but we've got 5 national titles.
It would, if the Vikings or the Chargers won the Super Bowl, I think we'd both be in the same boat. Yeah. Where it'd be interesting the morning after the Super Bowl, waking up and just looking at what we ordered the night before for memorabilia. Because it would be posters, framed pictures,
everything,
hats, shirts,
newspapers, just anything you can give me. I need it because that's my whole personality for the next 5 years. Yeah.
I do think it would almost be one of those championship, like you buy the T-shirt, like in a large, an extra large, a double XL,
Yep.
a triple, like just in case, in the future I need this.
Because you will live that exact, the quote, I'm living fat and happy. You're going to live fat and happy for a long time.
Eric, you put on some weight. Nah, I'm just vibing.
Just vibing. Yep, we won the Super Bowl, you know. Oh,
I haven't put on that much weight, just 6 or 7.
How many friends would we lose when our teams won the championship? Or were they just, they know what they're getting?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think I've done a good enough job of, I've converted a lot of people to at least partial Viking fandom.
Oh, yeah.
So I think I'd survive it a little bit better than you.
You did it to me because when, this was 15 years ago when my son was born, you know, he grew up. Vikings were our NFC team. You know, there's pictures of him in his Adrian Peterson jersey and little Viking shirts. And, he's a Chargers fan, but we root for the Vikings too. And that was something. It's like, all right, Vikings win the Super Bowl. I mean, I'm probably going to go just as hard celebrating as if if it was a Chargers win.
Hey, there's room. There's room.
Now, will I cry? Probably not, because I didn't have that emotional attachment of what happened. You better cry. Like, it's going to be so emotionally, like, just this release. And just like if the Chargers win, it's going to hit me emotionally, right? All the growing up a Chargers fan. I probably won't cry, but I will be so happy when the Vikings win the Super Bowl. So, well, there you go. We weren't even talking about the Vikings, but here we are, the Saints.
Yeah.
They are trash.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and move on to the Panthers.
Panthers. I like their offense. I'm going to be on the record. I think they have something there.
See, do you think that Bryce Young, like, he was the later half of last year?
Yes.
That's the quarterback that he's going to be?
I think he gets it. I think there was a learning curve. They did the right thing by benching him. They did the right thing by having Andy Dalton on the team to mentor him. He's really good.
It's wild. Like, when is there another like redemption story like that of just? I mean,
there's not. Like, you either flame out quick, or you just like Trevor Lawrence. Just you start one day and you never look back. And you either get it or you don't. I don't know that he gets it yet, but he's still there.
Yeah.
Jared Goff, you either get it or you don't.
And the other names that kind of came, and it's a totally different scenario. But Brady, Roethlisberger, neither one of those guys was like that great the first year.
No,
but they were champions.
In fact, Roethlisberger, they won despite him at times.
But they were champions, which gave them a long enough leash that they by the end of their careers they were like the top quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But I don't think you would have predicted that by seeing their film from their first like 2 or 3 years.
There's something to be said about not playing right away. You know, Peyton Manning. But they get one win that first season. They just let him go out there and play football, right? And
led the league in interceptions. And
exactly, and now he's a Hall of Famer. But, like, there's Carson Palmer of the Bengals. Didn't play a snap that first season. They made him sit as QB2 that whole first season. And then he was the starter the next season. He had a great career.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's something to a guy being sat down at times and being like, watch the game. Watch it unfold, then go out there and do it.
And it's interesting just from I don't think you can do that anymore. I don't think that you can consistently do that. I think
too much money.
Yeah, well, and too much of an advantage because having a rookie quarterback, having them on that rookie deal is the most valuable thing in sports.
Yeah, that's a good point because you can spend that money elsewhere in that salary cap.
Yeah. So you obviously can do it either way, but
you lose a year of that window. Yeah, that's a good point.
You know, what changed on the Chiefs from Patrick Mahomes and those early Super Bowl teams to where they are now?
Right.
Well, paying him $60 million.
That's the difference.
You don't have that to spread, to get those good defenders.
That's true.
To keep that Tyreek Hill contract out there.
That's scary. What if he had played that first year? What if Mahomes started year one? That's scary to think. They could have another Super Bowl. Anyway, back to the South.
So now that we've gotten the Saints and the Panthers out of the way by talking about other groups.
teams, yeah.
So I'm probably going against the grain here. I got the Bucs next in that one.
The Bucs are definitely the favorites to win the division.
Yeah, 100%.
Backed by Baker Mayfield, he's my fantasy quarterback this year. I've got big hopes for him this year. Stacked with weapons around him. Good culture. This is a good football team.
And this might be, because we did our AFC show. I did my AFC rankings first. And, I picked the Jags as a team that I was a little bit higher on, mostly due to I like Cohen. I like their head coach. Mm-hmm. Well, he's been the guy that was the offense coordinator for the Bucs. So I guess that's probably the big question. It'll be a big question here actually on the NFC when we get to the Lions as well, is just, hey, when you have such an efficient offense that's run by it, does it still run as well when they're gone?
That's their big question mark. So you think that no, the answer is no. And that the Atlanta Falcons are going to overstep.
I think that they're in improvement mode, yeah.
And do you think Kirk Cousins ends up being the guy that takes them to the promised land?
No.
Okay. So he's just going to continue to collect checks.
He's done it better than pretty much
anybody.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What do you like about the Falcons then?
I like their offensive skill players. I think Bijan is arguably, the best running back out there right now. He's right in his prime.
Yep.
And then, I like the Drake London. I like, why am I blanking on the QB's name right now?
Penix.
You kept saying Cousins, and I'm like, it's not Cousins.
Well, because I still have like a soft spot for Cousins. Like, I feel like he's a good quarterback.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why is that guy not? Look at how much money he's making. Why is he not starting quarterback? But Penix is pretty freaking good and adds a level of play that Cousins just isn't going to give you.
So, the NFC South, they're also going to be playing the NFC West, and they're going to play in the AFC East. So I do think that both these teams, no matter how it shakes out for that number one seed, I think both these teams have a really good shot to make the playoffs.
Okay.
But the Bucs will be the team that are playing the Lions and the Eagles, and neither of those teams are going to be on the Falcons' schedule.
Well, there you go. That could be the difference.
So,
yeah.
I think when you're kind of looking at this pecking order of the NFC, the Bucs are good, but they're not, I don't think, in the same weight class as the Lions and the Eagles.
Do you ever do the exercise where it's like you take every team's individual schedule and you just go down the line? All right, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, loss, win, win, win. And you kind of get everybody's final records, and just from looking individually, you're not looking at anything else, and then you take those, and then it's like, all right, here's the divisions. Have you ever done that exercise? I find that interesting, and I don't know if you can find anything from it.
See,
but if you were doing it like what you just said, if you were doing that and talking about what you just said, I think you're right. That's where you find Atlanta gets the advantage.
See, and here's kind of my methodology on here, and we're going to get a little nerdy in here, but one of the reasons that we've been kind of talking about what division, what conference these guys are playing in is a way to kind of weigh that out. So if I was looking at the Falcons or the Bucs and they're playing the AFC East, all right, well, there's probably one team that we know is better than those. Buffalo's going to be better.
Yep.
There's two teams in there that we know are going to be worse. Mm-hmm. So it's probably fair to say, 2-2, maybe 3-1 out of there.
Yeah.
And that's probably a little bit more realistic of saying 2-2 than going through there and just giving them a win or a loss based on that.
Yeah.
Because you're going to end up with that dumb, every year you end up with that one where it's just they lost to the Dolphins, but then they beat the Patriots and the Jets.
Right.
All right. Well, the Jets we expected, but
yeah.
We didn't expect them to go to, so I think you can kind of look at those other divisions and you can get an idea. Hey, if I'm playing the NFC North this year, that's going to be really, really tough to say that I'm going to go 3-1 just because there are three really good teams in there.
Right.
And one of those teams is probably going to steal one that they shouldn't have.
Because that just always happens.
Yeah. So that's kind of how I weigh it. I think that you get kind of locked in if you're looking at it game by game and a fallacy of just you're projecting out 2 months from now.
Yep.
Hey, how healthy are this team? Like, am I looking at it from day one? I mean, we talked about the Bills as a team last year that was looked at more like a rebuilding, and they turned out to be a juggernaut.
They turned out to be better.
I mean, the Vikings, a team that was supposed to be nothing last year, that ended up being
really good.
Yeah, a 14-win team.
And I find myself when I'm looking at, if I just look at, okay, here's the team on paper, here's the divisions they're matching up against. I could feel like this team's a 14 to 12 team. Win team. But if I'm going week to week to week for each team and I'm looking at it, I find myself, I get into these modes where I'm like, well, yeah, but they're not going to win like 3 in a row. So they're going to lose this one. And then they're stacking up wins or losses maybe in places that wouldn't actually happen on the field. But in my head, yeah, but they're not going to win 6 straight. Look at this stretch. I don't know. I just create these different storylines within at that point.
The NFL Network had They had a analyst last year that did the Vikings schedule like that, and he marked wins and losses, and it went viral in the Vikings chat groups because he had him going 4-13 as opposed to and it's just
wild.
Well, you look awful on this, but it's
and last year was the year that Vegas even had their win-loss total super low.
Yeah,
and it's they were coming off of 12 wins, 14 wins, something like that. There's no way they have that kind of drop. And there you go. They did not. All right, the NFC South. You got the Falcons taking the number 1 spot. NFC. You want to do the West?
Sure.
Okay, NFC West.
This is a very tough one.
This division's always tough.
Yeah, because
very even teams.
I feel like the Rams are probably the best team in there, but I think you can make an argument for any of the other teams winning this division. I've got the Cardinals at that number 4 spot, but it's I feel like they're going to be a decent team again. They've got talent. They're a very balanced team. They've got talent on the defense. They've got talent on the offense. They've got exciting players on both sides.
So 4th place in this division. What do you think their win total could be? Do you think it could be over 7.5? Do you think they fall into 6 just because of circumstance?
So this is the division that I have marked down as being this year's NFC North.
Okay.
I feel like this is a division that could send 3 teams to the playoffs.
All right. So over it is.
Yeah. And the biggest reason is, so NFC West, they're playing the NFC South. Very winnable games.
Yep.
And the AFC South.
Okay.
Extremely winnable games on both sides. And that was, the Vikings, the Lions, and the Packers last year all feasted off the AFC South.
Well, gamblers out there, this is the division to look at the win-loss and take the over. There's an opportunity here. I love that.
But, yeah, I think, Cardinals are in a tough spot, though, because it's they've had Kyler Murray. They've had success there. Obviously they added Marvin Harrison Jr. last year. They've got some pieces around him, but, you kind of – it's bad to have an average quarterback. That's a bad spot to be in. It's a bad spot to be extending, You
think Kyler Murray's average?
And that's where I don't think he's proved that he's elite. I don't think that he's proven that he's a top 10 quarterback.
He's certainly not elite. He certainly has the talent to be elite at times.
If you paired him,
been a bit.
If you paired him with a really good defense, could he be like a Russell Wilson? Like he was classic. Because that would probably be the comp for him. Short, big playability,
right?
But
if you put him on that Seattle team, the Russ, oh man, that'd be a heck of a squad. Yeah, you're right. He kind of has that same playable as Russ. I like Kyler Murray. I picked him this year in fantasy to back up Baker because I think
so. 2 of your big put a flag in it.
Put a flag in it.
Are the 2 quarterbacks. So we know that you got Baker Mayfield, you got Kyler Murray,
and they weren't guys I invested a lot of high draft picks on them. They're guys in key spots that I'm I think I need to rely on them. And I think I will be able to. I see Kyler having a really good season,
and those 2 for as far as fantasy are really complementary to each because you'll be able to play the matchups.
Sure. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
You're not having to take the bad weeks. You're not having to take, when they play. Hey, you might sit Kyler when he's playing this at Seattle.
Right. And I'll be able to do that because Baker's playing at New Orleans.
Yep.
Or against New Orleans. All right, so the Bucks, which I'm gonna guess. I don't know who you picked next. I'm gonna guess that you picked the Niners.
I thought this was one that I went back and forth.
Okay.
So I picked the Seahawks.
Okay.
As number 3. They got an amazing defense. I mean, question is like, if Geno Smith was their quarterback.
Yes, he was.
Is Darnold a net gain or a net loss on that?
I don't know. Here's the thing, it's a loss if he's the same, because they made the switch to get better. So even if he's the same as Geno, they're behind the ball. So they need him to be better.
Yep.
I don't know that he's better.
And
so
then,
I would probably take the under.
And then you're thinking about it too, the other big trade that Seattle made. So they got rid of Metcalf.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got Jackson Smith in there. But Cooper Kupp,
beyond his prime. There's a reason he's not in Los Angeles anymore. I mean, they loved him there. Just think of how much production.
Yeah.
He was the guy. He was the reason Matt Stafford could do Matt Stafford things. He was the reason. Like, I'm gonna give nobody else credit. I'm giving it all to Cooper Kupp because he was just always open.
When O'Connell came to coach the Vikings, that was like the first thing everybody was talking about, is he's going to turn Justin Jefferson into Cooper Kupp.
And why not?
Why
not?
That was a comp that you could make at that time. But that was also 5 years ago.
Yeah, I don't know. You think Cooper Kupp takes a big step back and it really impacts?
I mean, Cooper Kupp was just an accessory to the Rams last year. I mean, he was not 120 catches Cooper Kupp.
He was hurt. He was hurt too. But
he was hurt, but even when he came back, like,
he's not the same guy.
Yeah, he was not able to headline the show anymore.
Yeah. So I would agree there, Seattle. I think there's question marks with San Francisco as well.
Yeah.
And not so much like, because the players on the field are still really, really good.
So San Francisco, so I flipped back and forth on this one. The one thing that probably decided me on the Niners is that based on their strength of schedule is the easiest in all the NFL.
That helps. All right. That helps a lot.
So, yeah, they've got an easier schedule. They finished, God, did they finish last in the division last year?
The Niners?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so they've got that easy schedule where they get to, we talked about the Thunderdome of the NFC North, of having to play those. They don't have to play the Lions, the Packers, or the Vikings. Like, that's going to be the other 3 teams in that division that are playing those,
But they have to stay healthy.
Yeah.
And they haven't been able to do that. They have to overcome injuries to their best guys. Brock Purdy has done an incredible job of playing quarterback with a cast that's constantly moving in and out. I mean, credit to him. Maybe that's why they love him so much, because he can just make things happen in a way that I've only seen Phillip Rivers be able to do.
Can he rock a bolo?
He can rock him behind him. We got to ask him. But, if they stay healthy, I mean, sure, the Niners could probably win this division, but I got no faith in that. I got no faith in their training staff keeping those guys on the field.
Yeah, it's
schedule's an interesting thing because I didn't know that. I didn't realize they had the easiest.
Yeah, it's wild too to think about, just like Christian McCaffrey. I mean, that experiment. Obviously, the Niners traded for him like 2 years ago. Like, he had a full career, it felt like, in Carolina. Like, he's 29, and normally you don't see speed guys like that lasting.
You get to 30, it's over.
Yeah, so. I think that's probably the biggest piece. I mean, especially with Debo gone, Ayuk's not going to be ready to go at the beginning of the year. Like, they're banking on Kittle and
it's going to be a big
Christian McCaffrey, like, carrying that offense.
Yeah, and I don't want to give you my entire lineup, but Kittle is on my team as well. For all the reasons you just named, I think Kittle gets the volume.
Well, he's good. He's good for like 2 games a season where he gets like 3 touchdowns.
But I'll take those. But I also think he's going to be a volume guy all season because I think he's just going to have to be. So I put a lot of. I did this year with Kittle what I was hoping last year was going to be with Kelsey, as far as my strategy.
Yeah. Meanwhile, in the beer hazy rounds, I think I just picked the tight end that was at the top of my sheet.
Like, who's available? Just
yeah, and then I think I was pretty mad about it later on.
Did you fall asleep at the draft, or
that's
we're not
unsubstantiated?
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see what's happened there. All right. Well, that only leaves the Rams.
That leaves the Rams
winning the division.
And this is also assuming injury luck, because you're hoping that Stafford plays the whole season.
Yeah. Was he debating retiring? I feel like he was.
So he wasn't debating retiring, but he was looking for a last payday.
Oh, okay.
Because remember, he was threatening to hold out.
That's what it was.
Because he wanted additional time put at the end of that contract.
That's right.
So they gave him permission to go seek a trade, and then then they came to terms pretty quickly after that.
Who's going to take Matt Stafford at this point?
Yeah.
He's done it all. It's over. It's either you give it one last run with the Rams because you're comfortable, which that's the best spot for him.
It is. It
just is the best spot for him. Yeah.
It's so tough because you kind of mentioned earlier the AFC's your bread and butter. You're used to those teams, where I'm used to the NFC. As somebody that Vikings playing the Lions with Stafford, like I always dissed and poo-pooed on Stafford.
Yeah.
Like I felt like Stafford, Cousins was like that. They're on that same tier.
Yeah.
So it irks me to no end that he went to this Rams situation, which is perfect for him. Coach, perfect for him. Like the Cooper Kupps, the Puka Nakuas, like perfect for him. And then he won that championship, and now it's just like, God, he still annoys me.
He's annoying.
But I can't make an argument. I can't tell you with a straight face that he's in the same category as a Kirk Cousins anymore.
I enjoyed watching him on Thanksgiving Day with the Lions. I thought he was a big enough star quarterback to be like, all right, the Lions could win today, even on those bad teams.
Well, or especially those bad teams when it was just him and Calvin Johnson.
Exactly.
And it was just like...
just airing it out.
Yeah, Calvin's going to go for 180 and 2 touchdowns.
100%. Because they're going to put on a show for the biggest audience they're going to have all season on Thanksgiving Day. I really enjoyed that. Now he's with the Rams. I don't enjoy watching him because it's a perfect fit for him, and he's just annoying as hell. So,
God, and you're probably reminded of the Rams so much when you see the Chargers Stadium, and just thinking about the fact that you guys are just kind of roommates.
Yeah,
they're roommates, but the Rams got the master bedroom with the attached bathroom.
Yeah, we're like cohabitating right now, and it's annoying. So like Forbes, always does like the evaluations at the beginning of the NFL season, like most, and it's like the Chargers completely ditched their fan base and went to LA to continue to be one of the bottom valued teams in the NFL. Like, what are you doing? You're in LA. They completely botched that whole thing. What a mess. What a mess.
So
now the only thing they can do is win a Super Bowl to change that. I mean, that's just they did everything else they could do. Now you go win a Super Bowl, it changes everything. But you don't, and you just continue to be the Chargers. It just sucks.
I always enjoyed...
Why'd you bring that up?
I always enjoyed the Bill Simmons when he'd write about when he moved to L.A. from the Northeast, and he was just like, they'll never support a football team.
No.
Because there's just... You can still go to the beach in December.
Yes.
Like, they don't need to go to live and die off of a football team. Like, but San Diego would live and die for that team.
They love that team.
LA, I mean, if anybody's making headway there, it's the Rams, who already had the history in the LA Metro.
Yeah. You had that. They have the Lakers, the history with the Lakers. I mean, there's just teams that you just look, if you really looked at all of the big brands, the big teams that LA is supposedly supposed to root for, there's a lot already before you added the Rams and the Chargers, because you've got UCLA, USC, the Clippers, the Lakers, the Dodgers, like the Angels, the Kings. You just go on and on. I haven't even gotten to the women's teams. Like, there's just so many teams. And then you added the Rams and the Chargers, and most of them still root for the Raiders. So then, what do you do with that? What a mess. Anyways, I digress. You want to talk about the North, or you want to save them for last?
I think we should probably save them for last.
Right.
I have a feeling that we might go long on that.
We might go long. Yeah,
that group.
All right, let's talk about the East.
So, East, no surprise. Number 4, I've got the Giants.
Mm-hmm. Probably no different than last year, right? They're just kind of be the Giants.
Yeah. Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I mean, I still think he's fun. Do you still find him fun to watch?
No, but I never really enjoyed him.
Okay, because I really enjoyed him in Seattle.
From the time that he played with Wisconsin, and one of the most embarrassing Husker losses
That is true.
came
Good
at
point.
his hands.
All right.
And then it seemed like the Vikings would always draw that. And those defenses, this would be like the Jared Allen, Kevin Williams, defenses. And they would contain him except for like 3 plays. There'd be like 3 plays where he'd just be like running figure eights in the backfield. And all of a sudden he would throw the perfect, spiral to somebody 30 yards down the field. And it's just like, this play doesn't work unless he's able to extend it to a 15-second play.
Yeah.
Against one of the best pass rushes that we've it just seemed like he was always good for just those pulling it out of his butt type of plays. It was so frustrating. The year the Vikings stadium fell, the old Metrodome got too much snow on it and the ceiling collapsed. Mm-hmm. That was when we played the coldest playoff game. Yep. And that was against Russell Wilson. And that was another one where it was just, there was only 1 touchdown scored by Seattle. And it came out of nowhere. Third quarter, the only play that we weren't in position to stop.
Do you have fond memories of that season? I know the end was brutal. That game was on its own just heartbreaking because of all the circumstances. But do you have fun memories of that season? Because it's like Brett Favre, and you get it was just interesting how the dome collapsed from all the snow, and then there was still the excitement from being the NFC Championship game the year before, and then the last run with Favre. And then you've got that Monday Night Football game on a Tuesday. I don't know. There was just so many moments from that year. Randy Moss, was that the year Randy Moss came back to the Vikings? There was so many moments from that season. How do you, now we're way past it, how do you remember it?
And I do. I remember the circus.
Yeah.
It was exciting to have your team be the most exciting topic on every single show.
I vividly remember the week to week of that season, just what's next? This is awesome. No, you don't remember it fondly.
No.
I know, okay. All right, the Giants at the bottom, we can both agree on that. The next one's probably, if it's me, it's the Cowboys. I'd pick the Cowboys. I think you're going to say Cowboys.
I got the Commanders at this next spot.
Oh, that's a big drop back.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
I just don't, we kind of talked about this at the AFC episode of just, if you're looking at the team and what's improved and what's declined, I think the example that we gave was Denver, and everybody's just like, well, their defense is going to be even better. Their defense was already...
It's already great.
It was already great. Yeah. So how do you project that it's going to be better? Yeah. And so that's the tough part for me with the Commanders is Jane Daniels, electric. Highest, the 4th down conversion rate that they did last year, highest it's ever been in the NFL. Do we think that that's going to continue? Do we think that they're still going to be able to pull those wins out? Think of the Bears, the Fail Mary, where the guy's yelling at the crowd and out of position and ends up batting the ball into
the winner. Yep.
The Commanders needed that, to win that game.
That changed their entire momentum.
Do we expect them to, or the Chiefs? We said do we expect them to win those close games again?
Right.
And
that's a good point.
This is another team that I think kind of fits into that mold of. Last year, coming into the season, nobody was talking about the Commanders. They didn't have depth of talent anywhere.
They caught everybody by surprise, and they showed out to be pretty exciting at times. But to your point, look what it took to beat the Bears. And, you got to expect them to really to take a next step, really pound the Bears, and I don't know that they could. And
so that's where it's just all right, are we fooling ourselves into thinking hey, this will be a top 12 offense again this year? Mm-hmm. Their big addition was bringing in Debo. What's he got left? They re-signed Terry McLaurin, which I think was the right move.
That was the right move.
He's not a spring chicken. He's not a fourth or fifth year wide receiver. He's been in the league for 8 years now.
But he's a guy they were probably counting on going into the year. Hey,
Yeah.
we need that production. So, yeah, re-signing him and not being forced into a trade situation, that was big.
So that a lot of these reasons are why I have the Commanders a little bit lower.
So I've got to think. Now the Cowboys.
Yes.
Because there's no chance you've got the Eagles ahead of the Cowboys. Okay.
Yeah. No, I put the Cowboys in here, and I'm probably – I think Dak's a good quarterback. I think CeeDee Lamb is a good wide receiver.
Yeah.
I think Pickens could be an improvement there, but I think Dak being healthy is going to be the big variable. Now, obviously, losing Parsons is going to hurt that defense.
That hurts.
But they've still got a really, really good secondary. They still match up, pretty well with a lot of teams, and I think with that offense, you can bank on it. So I'm probably going a little bit more with I'll take the veteran Dak over.
Okay.
Jaden Daniels doing even better than he did last year.
Probably last run with Dak.
If the Cowboys miss the playoffs, I think you could make that argument.
They're gonna blow it up.
Yeah, you can't tell me that Jerry Jones didn't make that trade of Parsons to get those 2 number ones without thinking, hey, I've got 4 number 1 picks now in the next 2 years.
That's kind of how I read it too.
Is that enough to get, assuming Arch Manning looks better than he did on Saturday, is that enough?
Arch is going to be okay.
What other team do we have also that's like this, where it's just like you're looking at Jerry Jones and you're like, how many years does he have left?
I know.
Like, he needs to win, now. Like,
yeah.
There aren't very many other NFL teams that you're just like, oh, this owner's get like,
Did you watch that Cowboys doc on Netflix?
I haven't yet.
You really need to. It's so good. It's it just reminds me of that Bulls doc that got us through COVID in 2020. So good. But Jerry, you can just see that energy of the 90s he had in his eyes. And then now, he wants it. You can see in the interviews now, he wants it. But, he's old. He's tired. He's been through it, It's it happens to all of us. It's going to happen to all of us.
It's got a big parallel, too, to like the Yankees. Like when Steinbrenner passed.
That's great.
And his son took over, like, his son doesn't spend like the father.
No.
And I know that's one thing that they pointed out, too, is that Jones's son has taken over more and more responsibility. And he's very, fiscally, he's not wanting Michael Irvin. He's not wanting to make, big splashes.
What do you think's been worried me about the Padres? We had Peter Seidler, who's willing to write the check for what it takes, and then he dies, and then his brothers are like, hey, we have to run a business here. And I'm like, oh, no, you don't. The business comes when you win. It all will come when you win. I will buy so much merch. Just win.
We've already, I think, committed to, spending going to be dropping a couple G's.
Oh, easy. Just win. Oh. Yeah. But anyway, that's so true. Jerry on a different level than the Suns, because the Suns, what do they got? 30 years they hope to have running this thing. So, yeah, they're playing the long game for sure. All right, well, that leaves the Eagles, which we're talking about the world champs. You got to figure they're going to try to run it back. That's tough to do because the schedule's tough. They're everybody's favorite to win. There's Vegas's favorite to win the Super Bowl. How you agree with that?
I don't think that I wouldn't put them as my favorite to win the Super Bowl. I do think that the AFC teams that we went through yesterday, I think Buffalo and the Ravens would be a lot tougher outs for Philly than the Chiefs were last year in the Super Bowl.
Okay.
I do think that they're the best team in the NFC.
Top down, best team.
Yep. I'd put them above the Lions. And obviously, they're the Rams and the Falcons, my other
100%,
division winners. I just don't. So they're going to have to prove it here in the regular season too, because we kind of talk about those other divisions they're playing. They play the NFC North, so they'll play all 3 of the NFC North teams, and they also play the AFC West. So they're also going to be playing the Chargers, the Broncos, and the Chiefs. So, if there was an argument to be made that, hey, they're going to fall off or that they won't get, number 1 seed, I think that's it. Is that, all right, those 6 teams that I just listed off, they go 3-3 on those. I mean, that might be enough room for, hey, if the Commanders are better than they were last year, or if the Cowboys, it could lead to, the Lions or another team just having that record and pushing them out of the number 1 seed. And I mean, that's such an advantage.
It really is. The Eagles last season, you wouldn't say were world beaters from the get.
No.
They turned into a really good team that just got hot at the end. And then it was just matchup-wise, they were the better squad every time.
And we're only, coming into last year, I feel like if we went back and listened to this episode last year, we might have put Sirianni hot seat and said that he's probably like a coach that could get fired midseason. They were bad 2 years ago.
Believe that. And actually, if we were to actually go back, I've had this idea. I'll pitch this idea so now it's out in the world and somebody could take it. But I've had this idea where we do a podcast for a year. We'll do it 52 weeks. We'll do 52 episodes, but not air them. And then the next year, we start to air them a year later, and you could go back and listen to last year's news events from that week. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, just be like, when did that happen?
Right. And if that was if we had actually done this pod and we were listening to it, because I distinctly remember Sirianni having to defend himself. Remember, he had his kids up at the press conference after the game.
Oh, and was crying.
And they were like, "You're using the press is like you're using your kids as a shield and all this stuff." And he was under some pressure. And then they made a trade. Was it the A.J. Brown trade, or was that the year before that?
No, yeah, they've had A.J. for
but anyway,
3 years now.
I know they made a trade, and then things started to roll.
Yeah.
But he was under some pressure there early on, and I remember his kids being a thing that the press was not happy about and whatnot. But if we did that pod, I know this is something we would have talked about with Sirianni.
It's one of those things too where the Eagles have kind of moved into, we both get, I think, excited for the draft. At least watch the first night, but it's kind of wild. Just they've become that new team that everybody gushes over their draft picks, and it's pretty. Roseman, he's very, very good at what he does, but it does feel like we give everybody that he picks or any players the benefit of the doubt. But I think so. They're bringing back, and I don't have this in front of me, but I believe they're bringing back most of their offense. But they've got 7 contributors on defense that have all left. Their secondary is not that great.
They signed a running back or re-signed a running back that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So that's Barkley.
But
He's
I
good.
think you're kind of projecting out that offense is probably going to have to be a top tier offense again.
And I don't want to be a hater, but Barkley's not going to have as good a season this year as he did last year.
No. I think that's just that's carry count. That's math.
That's just how it works.
Yeah. Plus, I don't have him on my fantasy team, so if one of us had him on our fantasy team, we might give him the benefit of the doubt. I
just want to say, you mentioned draft night. We spent it at Hooters watching the first round. That was fun. So shout out Hooters if we want to do some kind of sponsorship dealers. We're down. No. We spent it at Hooters. That was fun, and it was fun to see other people in the restaurant with their team merch on and whatnot. It was interesting.
It was a very eclectic group.
It really was.
Yeah.
So that's always fun when you can get around people, other teams, and because normally you go into any place like that and it's specifically, all right, you're wearing Viking stuff because we're probably watching Vikings game.
Yeah.
I'm wearing Charger stuff. Yeah, the Chargers are probably playing, but this was it was pretty random. It's draft night. There's 32 possibilities, so it was a lot of fun.
My cousin. One of my cousins lives in Fargo, North Dakota. Big Vikings fan. But he went to the draft. And the reason I kind of thought about this is the draft this last year was at Lambeau.
Yeah.
And so he sent a Snapchat of kind of him doing the 360 to show the big screens,
That's
the
awesome.
flag. And I laughed so hard when I saw it because there was just this Packers fan right in front of him, just nonchalantly doing the flip off while scratching his head the entire time. And
that's
it was just
amazing.
And it was just that's hats off to you.
Good sportsmanship there. I love that. I love that every time. We don't need to get physical. I don't need kicked in the shins. All right, Chiefs fans, I don't need kicked in the shins when I'm in line at the porta potty. But little fingers here and there when you're doing the pictures, that's fun. You're You were talking about you're talking about Fargo. Just one quick thing about your vacation you were just on. You were playing blackjack. You could play blackjack in the bars.
Yes.
We didn't talk about this last episode when we were talking about your vacation. I find that so fascinating. Was it the same type of vibe as when you were in a casino?
No.
Was it different altogether? Like, talk me through.
I mean, these are just like regular bar, but they have like 2 like blackjack tables, like just tucked
there.
into the back.
So is there like a dealer sitting waiting like at the casino, or do you have to go to the bar and be like, "Hey, I'd like to play blackjack"?
No, there was a. So that's the thing. The bar itself cannot run the game. So it's charity. It's all charitable.
Oh, okay. So I get it now, because you were saying it was charity. I thought that just the proceeds went to them, but they're running the table.
They're running the table. So yeah, the bar can't run it.
So
the bar can't run its own gambling.
So it's only open from this time to this time. Then I mean, it can't be open.
So most of the places that I've only been to a handful of them that have it. I haven't been to every bar in North Dakota to say that this is like normal, but most of the
Is
ones.
this something you want to do? Are we hitting every bar?
I mean, this could be our 52 weeks.
This could be
podcast.
The podcast.
We could each week we could do a different North Dakota bar. We might need to move to North Dakota.
I think we're moving.
But most of them it felt like would have kind of like a pit boss type person, and then like 2 people that would rotate in and out. So you kind of have the dealer that was going, the pit boss that's kind of paying attention, guarding the chips, watching that stuff, and then you'd have another person, and they would rotate, every 30 minutes or so.
Okay, so when you're in a casino,
I did a lot of gesturing.
I know, this is why we need to get the video going so people could see the arms moving. This is an episode that maybe needs to be animated so that the cartoon is just a flailing, like a little wavy tube man. He's just kind of moving like that. It's kind of funny. So at a casino, the vibes, you can run a table 100% on vibes. It's not always about the cards. The dealer can change the vibe, like when a good dealer, you're rolling, and then it goes a break, and then the new dealer comes up, the break dealer, and then it's just flying through cards, and you're like, I gotta get
I haven't run into any turbo dealers.
All right, that would be my concern.
There's limits on the tables, so I want to say that the ones that I went to, you couldn't bet more than $25 on a hand.
Okay, all right, so that's fair.
It's like, and a lot of them were like $2 or $3 tables.
Yeah.
So I mean, which to me is awesome.
That is awesome.
Because that means that I could bring $200 and I could probably play for a long, long time.
Oh, 100%.
Probably the reason that we didn't talk about it is because I did not win, and I did not play for a long time.
And you did not play for a long time. Okay.
So
yeah, normally when you come back with a big win story, I mean, it's legend. All right, we got one division left. It is the most important one. It is the NFC North. We already know you're Vikings fans, so we already know they won't be at the bottom. But the talent on the field proves that as well. I got a hunch the Bears are going to be the team at the bottom.
yeah. Ding, 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 ding. Johnny, can we get some applause in here?
Yeah, Johnny, come on, give us something. Johnny. Can I just give a shout out to Johnny real quick? This guy.
Again?
This guy. He's available anytime we need him. He is willing to sit and listen to everything that we say and just make sure he never speaks up. He never speaks out of turn. He's a great producer. In fact, I would say he's one of the best in the industry. He is somebody that, when it's all said and done with Laugh With Me, he is somebody that is undervalued and underappreciated in this industry, in this business. So I just want to give credit where credit's due to Johnny for his producing.
This is because I think in episode 100, I don't think you mentioned him at all.
Yeah,
even though he's been there since episode 1.
He has, and sometimes it's about me. Can I just put that out there?
Well, there was also a good dozen episodes, I feel like, where he was pretty close to losing his job.
He really was. I did actually have a different producer for a few episodes, and I brought him back because he's core. I need him.
He had to wait 83 episodes to get his first gratitude in the first 100. Here we are. Episode 102.
I do hope that someday he'll earn the right to be able to speak. That day's not today.
Well, No, I mean, with this animated series coming out there,
So
will he show up on the animated series before he speaks on the podcast?
I have the answer to that, and I will say Johnny does make an appearance in episode 1 of Laugh With Me, the animated series. He is actually in episode 1. So the answer to that is yes, Johnny makes an appearance. So there you go.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Who's better looking animated between me and Johnny?
Oh. All right, here's what I'm going to do. Because I'm pretty sure I took a picture of, like, a screenshot of it.
Why won't you just say me?
I'm going to let you decide.
Oh, yeah, all right, 100%.
That you're better looking at him. Okay, all right.
Yeah, just some questionable style decisions.
Questionable style?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Well, there's Johnny. Yep, so he is.
God. So that... Yeah, I forgot that he had the broccoli hair like that for a while.
He did. Yep. There you go. That's little Johnny.
So,
so back to football.
Yeah.
We're talking about the NFC North. The Bears, trash. So do you like Caleb Williams? Like, do you think he's going to be the quarterback next year as like, all right, he's our guy, let's move forward?
I mean, I do. I think that he's somebody I feel like is going to be kind of like Trevor Lawrence we talked about.
Yep.
Hey, he's got a really long leash because we knew coming into the league that, hey, he was going to be super, talented.
Right.
Now, the reports coming out of training camp, preseason, all those, like, not real positive.
No.
It does not sound like, Ben Johnson, the new head coach, it does not sound like he's having a great time. So, installing this Detroit offense in.
Isn't it interesting because the reports coming out of it last season was that he was going to be a world beater and look out for the Bears because I bought into it. I'm like, the Bears are real. Like, I love Caleb Williams. And then week 1, I instantly was like, I was so wrong. Like, on this very podcast, I was preaching the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wrong. It's so weird how it flipped from one year to the next.
Well, and so we brought up the Commanders game. That was the Bears were 4-2 at that point, and they won one more game for the rest of the season. Where the Commanders, that was like the first one where it was just like, hold on, they're like,
Yeah.
So maybe there is a bizarro world where all of a sudden it all comes together. Like they win that game, like they should have, and it all comes together for Caleb. And we're sitting here like, oh, they were 8-9.
Yeah, they could win the division now.
They could win the division.
Yep.
Like, because they do have, I mean, they've got Odunze, they've got DJ Moore, like they've got talent on that offensive side. They've got a talented defense. Their defense is good. Like they should be a team that plays competitive in that division.
So over under 6.5 wins.
So they're playing the AFC North and the NFC East. So I think I'm going to go under.
Okay. The number actually is 6.5 for them, and I'm pretty sure the favorite on the betting right now was under.
Yeah.
So there you go.
It just, I mean, they've got 6 games against the Lions, Packers, and Vikings, and they did take one from the Packers last year.
Yes, they did.
So, but they got swept by the Vikings and the Lions. And it's probably pretty safe to say that there's going to be some more losses that are in there.
Well, it gets interesting once you get past the Bears because I'm going to just assume you and I are on the same page that Detroit's the favorite to win the division.
Yes.
I mean, they are a force to be reckoned with right now, which leaves the Packers and the Vikings. A week ago, I know what my answer was.
A week ago, I had a different answer than I do right now.
What do you think right now with after the big trade that the Packers had? How do you have it sitting?
So right now, I've got the Vikings sitting at that number 3 spot.
Okay.
And that's, I think, a week ago.
Yep, I had the Vikings over.
I think I had the Vikings over there, and I was upset about. Basically, I mean, the Packers are getting a lot of love. Like, they're getting so much love out there. And that's no pun intended with their quarterback also being named Love. But that's a tough one to figure out for me, because last year the Packers went 1-5 in the division. They lost to the Eagles. Like, they lost to every playoff team that they faced in the regular season. So to say that, hey, the Packers are going to win the division, all right, what's changed on their lineup that's going to cause them to win it? All right, so, they bring in a lot of draft buzz about them, Matthew Golden.
Yep.
All right. Well, I mean, they had their big – the notes that we probably had last year for these guys were that they have, like, 3 number 2 wide receivers.
Yep.
And
that didn't change.
Yeah, that didn't change, and I don't know that Golden moves that needle. Maybe he is a world beater, but, like – wide receiver is the same as every other position. We don't know going in if they're going to be a great wide receiver or if they're going to be a bad one. Yeah. The famous one with Jefferson was like the 4th wide receiver taken in his class.
Yeah, look at him now.
Yeah,
MVP candidate.
But you don't know, and I mean, the Packers have been living in that same world where they've been picking a lot of these wide receivers in day 2. Hey, I love this pick. Well, all right, but he doesn't turn into like what you want. Right. So it was really tough for me to see them making this big swing where all of a sudden they were beating. Yeah, maybe you beat the Vikings with like a rookie quarterback. Maybe you steal one from Detroit, but where did they prove that they could do that last year? And they didn't.
They did not.
But obviously, I mean, bringing in Parsons
makes a difference.
It makes a difference, and it like.
That was my thing. A week ago, I was saying, what did they possibly do that would tell me they're different? And I did like their draft as well. And I like their change of direction because they don't always draft offense, Mm-hmm. I don't know why I said offense like that, but I did say it. I was hoping you'd call that out. But
I'm too offended.
Yeah. But there was nothing there. Then they make this trade for Micah Parsons. I'm like, all right, that's a move that 31 other teams didn't make. Like, that's a big one.
Yeah, and I mean the analytics on Parsons show, like, I mean, he has had like the best win percentages against like those left tackles. Like, he has had an impact. Honestly, looking at some of the ESPN science, and I'm using quotations around science, but like seeing those win percentages, it kind of reminded me of like the talk around like Ndamukong Suh.
Right.
Where it's just like, hey, this guy is so physical that you pretty much have to put 2 offensive linemen on him every single time. Mm-hmm. And so it does become kind of a force multiplier when you can put somebody at the top of your rush pecking order, because then that means that, hey, your second best rusher now doesn't have to face a double team. Or your guy that you were counting on going into the season, he's now going to have more free looks. The defensive tackles are going to have more free looks. Like, that is going to help on every level. Because I don't think that the Packers, I mean, their defense 2 years ago was bad. Their defense last year was okay. But their secondary has, I mean, Shahir Alexander's gone. Like, their secondary is not world beaters.
You were telling me, because to your point, you want to get better in every phase of the game every season. You want to see improvement. To your point, you were telling me the Vikings, if we're a top 20, top 25 defense this season, we're a playoff team. Like, that's good enough because the offense is going to be bread and butter, right? Now, the Packers just took what was a mediocre to okay defense to what could now be maybe a pretty good one.
Yeah.
That's the difference. You think that's enough to make the jump where it's like, all right, we have a clear 2?
Yeah, I do. Because, I mean, the argument for the Packers being a playoff team and the argument for them making that big jump is just, hey, Love was hobbled at the beginning of last season. Mm-hmm. He's healthy now. He's got Golden. He's improved his wide receiver core. They still got Josh Jacobs, like, great running back, good offensive line. So, you get those pass rushers, like, in there, and it really plays well to taking some of that stress off of the offense.
Right.
And, hey, if that offense can get off to a fast start, I mean, look at what the Vikings did last year with, like, Flores defense. Well, how many of those games did the Vikings come out and score 10, 14 points? They had a lead in the first quarter, and then that pass rush could just pin its ears back and just rush the quarterback.
Just go do the job, yeah.
Like, so you can make that argument here with Green Bay that, hey, 100%, like, he's going to help cover up their bad, their okay secondary. just with that additional pass rush.
Now, there was a report that came out today from Adam Schefter that said that Micah Parsons is going to need some kind of like injection or something for pain management, and he's going to need it possibly even as early as like week 1.
I mean, this fits with
Who
Packers
knows?
culture. I mean,
Yeah.
they got a lot of druggies. They got a lot of problems with drugs at that team. I mean,
Did you watch the Brett Favre talk on?
yes, that is what I was referencing.
I love it.
Yeah, a lot of
That's funny. Midwest, baby.
moral weakness on that team.
Yeah.
I don't see how anybody could truly be a fan. And
Well, the Packers and the Vikings, it truly is a story of the trade. So the Vikings are probably, I mean,
so I've got the Vikings as that third.
Yeah.
and it's probably. I mean,
And it makes sense.
It's all about that uncertainty at the quarterback position. Do I think that? And maybe this kind of goes into our other conversations of just, hey, do you buy the spike?
right.
You know, the offense is not going to be better than it was last year. Like there's no if I saw a breakdown that was kind of talking about your friend of the pod, Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
He had
Stud.
one of the best rookie seasons of all time.
He's dating Madison Beers now. Are you familiar?
No,
He's doing okay.
like
He is
BER,
like Beers, like Beers. He's a guy.
like from the family that invented beer. I mean, that's a big catch.
That's impressive. Yeah. He's a guy, he's an eligible bachelor. He's living in Southern California. He's got that wavy hair. He's QB1 on America's favorite team. I mean, look at this guy. He's loving life. And he loves chess. He's become a huge chess player.
Really?
That was actually how they got outed as a couple, is there was a picture of them together at a chess tournament in LA.
So you've played chess before.
I have against you.
Do you think that you could beat Herbert?
I don't think so. So
Thank you for the honesty.
a year ago, he was not a chess player. And at training camp, one of his linemen or one of his teammates challenged him, and he got beat. And he has dedicated the last year to becoming like an expert at chess, and he goes to tournaments, and he's like really good.
Okay.
Now. Yeah.
As opposed to us that would play like once a year on New
Drunken.
Year's.
Yeah, we're a different breed, but
Yeah.
he's
It became
like
a spectator sport at the New Year's parties just because
Yes.
like your wife,
sit
Kyle also, like they would watch and they'd just be like, you guys are so dumb. Like
What are
this
you
is
doing?
like they would just criticize both of our playing on
Yeah.
just like, are you just trying to make this the longest game?
we're just sitting there chatting while we're playing. No, he wants to become like the chess player. But anyway, I digress.
So he had one of the best rookie seasons of all time.
Okay.
He did not have Darnold numbers from last year. Darnold had 38 touchdowns.
Right.
So I think it's a fool's errand to say that McCarthy's going to come in and
Sure.
have
And do that. Yeah.
if he's Justin Herbert, I think the Vikings are like ecstatic.
If he's Justin Herbert, the Vikings are Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because the Vikings they picked up a center and a right guard that were both like top of the list this year. They're getting back Darisaw. Their stud left tackle. Like they should have a much better offensive line. They've got wide receivers. Well, after week 3, they've got a wide receiver room that's probably best in the division.
Yep. Arguably best in football. I
Yeah.
mean, they're just stacked.
Yeah. So you have a lot of that stuff going. You have they brought in Jordan Mason from the 49ers to be that secondary back.
And I think that's an underappreciated move.
Mm-hmm.
I like him a lot. And he's a good fit for Minnesota, too, for what they do. I think he's going to be great.
And then on the defensive side, I mean, you've got that same type of defense. You've got Flores coming back. He's still toxic, from suing the league and all.
But he's feisty.
Yeah. So
I mean, he's gutsy. He's going out there and doing his job.
Yeah.
He's not worried about other things. He's not worried about the next job because he only has this one right now.
And that's so when you compare the Vikings to the Packers, I mean, the uncertainty is McCarthy. Like, can he step in and do that? Because it's the same way that I said, like, hey, the Packers defense wants to play with the lead. They want that offense to get them the lead. They want to send Parsons in there to bull rush them. That's the same thing Flores' defense wants.
Yep, needs it.
So if you say, like, hey, the wheels are going to come off the Viking season this year, it's because that offense isn't scoring regularly enough, and Flores' defense is having to deal with more rushing, and they're not able to take on the quarterback. They're not able to be ball hawks and intercept and go for fumbles and do all the fun stuff that made them so watchable last year. Like, that's how the season could go bad.
So normally I like to take the opposite approach of you and then like debate you because that's what we do, right? You and I were just ingrained me. But I'm going to agree with you and back up that with something. The J.J. McCarthy, we were just talking, I forget what quarterback we were talking about, but I think there's value to a quarterback sitting for a while and just watching the NFL happen around him so he can learn and get and the game can slow down for him. Well, he unfortunately had that for him last season because of the injury. So he spent an entire season learning the game from the sideline, knowing he's not going to be on the field. I think there's value to that. So I think that's going to help. But here's why the whole season hinges on him. Last season, the Vikings, 80% of their scoring came through the air. If J.J. McCarthy isn't the guy, they're screwed. So I'm backing up what you're saying. It all hinges on J.J. McCarthy because that defense needs to be playing with a lead, and that offense needs scoring to happen through the air, and it did last year. And if this guy isn't the guy, oh my.
They said J.J. McCarthy is the first quarterback taken in the first round in the last 25 years that did not take like a single snap.
Yeah, I believe that.
In the regular season.
Yep, I believe it.
So every other, like even Mahomes sat for a year, but he still took snaps. Like, you know. But yeah, not being able to practice, not being able to do that. And I know, I mean, the puff piece writers, you know, for ESPN and all that, I mean, they've focused on, hey, McCarthy was doing notes for the QB room.
Sure.
That him and O'Connell still had their weekly meeting where he would get tested on the playbook that he would do this. You know, Darnold wore VR goggles for like certain or VR on his helmet, and McCarthy was able to see what he was seeing. But again, none of that is a substitution.
There's not the real pressure of being hit and slammed in the ground. There's not real pressure if you don't get rid of the ball right now. You know, the drive's over. I mean, nothing substitutes the real thing. But to be able to have the headset on, listen to everything happening, get the familiarity with that, to be in those meetings and learn. Because sometimes there's the pressure of, all right, I have to work, and I'm working, and I'm the starting quarterback, and I'm in the field, and I'm worried about 8 different things. But when you're just sitting there learning, you know, like when you're an engineer, you're in class learning how to be an engineer. You're not out building buildings, you know. And so I think there's something to that. I think, and I hope it shows, because I do think it worked for Carson Palmer. That's who it was we were talking about, Carson Palmer with the Bengals back in the day. They wouldn't let him step on the field that first year, and I thought that was awesome. He hated it, but then he had a great career. I don't know. I thought there was something to that, but anyway, the Vikings, I feel like they've got everything in front of them. It just falls on that quarterback position and see what happens.
Yeah.
The Lions, they're the favorites to win the division, as they should be. They're in that window. Jared Goff's a stud.
Well,
do you not like Jared Goff?
I'm not a huge Jared Goff fan, but
yeah, he's good for this system.
Yeah, I mean, there was a reason that the Rams traded him out for Stafford.
Yeah, 100%. But it has worked out for the Lions. Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, if the Lions can kind of keep that offensive magic that they had with the previous,
because it ends at some point.
Yeah. Well, they lost both their coordinators. So they lost their OC, they lost their DC here this last year.
So to me, that puts all the pressure on the head coach.
Yes.
At this point, anybody who has a culture, anybody who has a system that's built strong enough, which every head coach says they have, right? That's why they get hired.
Right.
Anybody who has it, you're going to get guys, they're going to get promoted out. Next one comes in. This is our system. If he's right and it works, they're going to win the division. They're going to be Super Bowl contenders again. If he's wrong, this thing implodes fast.
Oh yeah.
So this is a big do or die season for the Lions.
So, and it's wild to think about the fact that the Lions last year had the worst injury luck on defense. They lost more starters, more players last year on defense than any other team in the NFL. Wow. But their offense was one of the healthiest in the NFL. So they lost, David Montgomery was probably their biggest injury, and he was the second string running back.
Right.
So you would think that their defense would be healthier this season, that their defense should be able to hold it together. Mm-hmm. But, you would expect that offense is probably going to have more hurdles to go through with a new offensive coordinator. And can they keep
that going?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. I am actually, when it's just looking at the talent, looking at the teams, and it's like, all right, Lions, yeah, they're going to win that division. They're Super Bowl contenders. This is it. But then when you deep dive into it, it's like, oh, they lost both coordinators, and that's a big red flag because the head coach is still newish. We haven't seen this from him yet.
Yep.
We haven't seen the big flip of his assistant. So, yeah, this is exciting.
And we've mentioned earlier in this episode, 49ers easiest schedule.
Right.
They're playing the last place schedule. So the Lions have the toughest schedule in the NFL.
Makes sense.
So, in addition to having 2 games each against the Packers, Vikings, and Bears in their own division, they've got the Eagles, they've got the Rams, they've got the Bucks. They play the AFC North, so they've got the Ravens, the Bengals, the Steelers. They play the East, so they'll also have Commanders and Cowboys in there. They've got a full dance card.
So hear me out. Are the Lions a team then makes the playoffs, but as a wild card, and Vikings or Packers jump ahead?
I do think, so the Vikings they made history for having the most wins, 14-win team to be wild card. Mm-hmm. I would say I don't see any team in the NFC North winning more than 12 games. I think 12 is probably the top that any of these can go. Yeah. Mm. But yeah, do I think that it's within the realm of possibility that you could have an 11-win team win this division? 100%.
Yeah, especially with that schedule.
Yeah.
Mm. All right, so we've got Lions winning the North, Falcons winning the South, Rams winning the West, and the Eagles winning the East. Not talking wild card. Would you say the winner out of the NFC is probably going to be a division winner? Or do you think a wild card could take that right now if you were looking at it?
It would be tough, not to take the chalk pick of the Eagles, right, just because they've got the least amount of unknowns. Mm-hmm. I think, the winner of the Lions, Packers, and Vikings, if one of those teams comes up head and shoulders above that rest of that division, I think you could make the argument that, mm-hmm, hey, they'll be NFC champion contenders. But all of those teams, I think, have bigger question marks than the Eagles.
Yeah, all the schedule things you just brought up, and then remembering the coordinator things, that's enough for me to not say the Lions are favorite. It's the Eagles obviously right now look like.
Yeah, I don't think anybody wants to see the Eagles be the number 1 seed and have to go to Philadelphia in January. I think that's
yeah, that looks tough. It's gonna be fun. Remember, not everybody that made it last year makes the playoffs this year. That's just how it always works. So a lot of these teams that we're looking at, and it's like, how could they possibly lose? They're not going to make the playoffs, which to me, that's what makes the NFL fun. And frustrating at the same time. But.
Yeah. and yeah, that's what kind of, again, those schedule inconsistencies from year to year.
Yeah.
I can't talk about that enough, just being an NFC fan, of the fact that the whole division was buoyed by the NFC West and the AFC South, and the fact that both the Lions and Vikings went 7-1 against those 8 teams. Mm-hmm. That led to the great records. And Commanders team, how are they going to look playing a second place schedule versus a last place schedule?
Yeah,
it's
interesting. It's football, baby. And week 1, we've got Eagles, Cowboys on Thursday night. Chargers, Chiefs on Friday before that full slate on Sunday. I'm excited.
Yeah, gotta wait. Awesome. Gotta wait till Monday night though to see the Vikings. So
yeah, Vikings. That's
Bears. Gonna be a.
Don't let the Bears. Don't let the Bears start 1-0. That'll ruin everything.
I've been on the record of saying that nothing will destroy my buy-in on the season more than if the Vikings look that bad against the Bears.
Where's it being played?
Chicago.
Don't lose to the Bears week 1.
So, and it's like that. That's the one thing that's going to be very, very strange. So I'm a huge Vikings fan. Love Sundays. I like them playing at that noon slot.
Yep.
So Vikings week 1, Monday Night Football. Vikings week 2, Sunday Night Football against the Falcons. Week 3, they'll host the Bengals at noon. But then they play their back-to-back, their Ireland and London games. So for weeks 4 and 5, they'll be playing at 9:30 in the morning.
That's a lot of change. I mean,
and then they have a bye week, and then
sometimes like people will say like, oh, the fluctuation in routine will be tough for a rookie-ish quarterback, right? But that might be good. He's constantly having to like just focus, and like that might be actually the best way to start a season. Don't get caught in routine and then it changes.
Yeah.
What if it just always changes? That's your routine now.
But
that's actually not that bad thing.
Yeah, this is where I can talk myself out of the Vikings though, because I'm like that's a
that's enough.
That's a tough schedule, at the beginning, but that's probably their easiest stretch because when they come back, they have the Eagles and Ravens back to back, and then the Lions and the Packers, and it's just like there's like a 4 weeks from hell in there. So it's just like if you guys start 2 and 3, or God forbid 1 and 4. Like it's going to be a long process to get it righted.
Yeah. Well, it all starts this week. Eric, thanks for your breakdown.
Thanks for having me.
We did it. We talked football for good 3 hours between the 2 episodes.
This was a marathon session.
This was a good one. You can hear all the analysis, episode 101. The AFC on Laugh With Me. You can hear all the NFC, just this episode 102, and you can also hear each individual division on the Bottom 5 podcast feed. So this was fun.
I really hope, from the bottom of my heart, like I hope that you don't invite me on the Bottom 5 to talk Vikings.
Can I? All right. Here's my promise to you. I will only invite you on the Bottom 5 if the Vikings are going to be on it. How about that? Either for you to defend why they shouldn't be or why they should be.
No, that
Either way.
That could be a 3-hour podcast just in itself.
That'll be fun. Yeah, absolutely. All right. You can find us on any of the socials: Instagram, X, Facebook, YouTube. Find us Laugh With Me podcast. You can listen to the shows on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple. And don't forget, we've got the animated series, Laugh With Me. The animated series is coming very soon, but you got to subscribe to our YouTube page, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Thanks for listening.